In comes Gabby Thomas.
We are at BU, just getting our packets before the race. I was feeling the pressure. I was feeling the pressure of this kind of week leading up. I give myself quite high expectations where I've never ran a 200 indoor, I've never ran a 400 indoor, besides my relays, besides a 4x2 and a 4x4. A meet that has, in some events, 200 people, 230 people in them. So you have almost 30 heats of people running one right after the other. So I guess the pressure of that, I could feel that in the morning.
Context of this race, probably one of the weirder ones that I've ever had, because I've never dealt with a hamstring injury. And I think like with how severe it was, like I heard it last week on Tuesday, I came into this week like not knowing if I'd be able to compete. So I knew in the back of my head, like, okay, if you were at home, you probably wouldn't compete. So like play it very safe. Like if it was hurting too bad, like scratch the day of, like do what you have to do. And I definitely trained like slightly differently this week. I had to cut out some reps or like cut the percentage in like half just to make sure the hamstring was okay throughout the week. So context of the race was basically like, I felt good the day before and made the decision like the day before, like, okay, like you can get through a race, like you'll be fine. But I think it was hard to keep that in mind. Like as soon as I felt a little bit healthy, I was like, okay, like we're back, like go for it, and just forgot about, you know, it's still not at 100. People are so oblivious. Like there's 4 lanes with hurdles in them. Maybe don't like stretch in those lanes, like maybe don't do A skips in those lanes because I'm gonna go over it, and if you're in my way, like you're gonna get hit. So yeah, it was kind of annoying for sure, but I just started like significantly earlier. Like normally I'll start like an hour and a half early, so I did the same thing, and normally I'm done like 20 minutes early, and I can just chill, walk around, figure out what my body needs at that point in time. It worked out fine, but yeah, a lot of people who are really oblivious as well, so.
And so I think you would come in here hoping to achieve all your dreams as well in that mile.
I think the goal was definitely still the same. The goal was still like, okay, let's go out there, let's execute a good race, let's go sub 8. And I didn't do that. I didn't have the race that I like really wanted to have. Like the prelim, I was content with, even though the time wasn't very good. It was like, I got out and I didn't hit any hurdles and it was smooth. You know, the timing was off for my touchdowns, and that's probably why I just couldn't find like that super fast rhythm that I wanted. But it can also just be hard to find that when I can't see anyone. But then in the finals, I could see people and I just didn't perform. I just didn't do my thing. So I don't know, that was a weird one. I was definitely a little bit hard on myself afterwards, just like super disappointed with it, even though maybe my expectations should have been lower after like a super off week of training and stuff. But the goal was still definitely like the same as it always would be.
In finals, I ran terrible. I don't know, a little frustrating. Didn't get out very well. Hit the first hurdle, hit the second hurdle, didn't have much rhythm, so not my favorite day. Happy with some parts of the first prelim, so at least there's some good to take away from it, but yeah, I don't know. Overall, cool facility, a little too crowded for me, and not the best memories from here for my hurdle race.
I know that it's not a defining race of like my ability, and yeah, I don't know. Next up is going to be Canada West Championships, and that's a race that matters. So I'll go prove myself when it matters. So yeah.
We're here to do a Q&A session with Alex Yee. Actually? No. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's great footage.
There was a Q&A session with Alex Yee, the world champion and Olympic champion in triathlon from this summer.
Yeah, that was really cool. Just like hearing about his mindset and how he kind of like goes about his training. Super cool to hear someone like at that high level talk.
He was just like a super down to earth, like really, really nice guy. So it was really awesome. We got to hold some Olympic medals, which was super cool. Ask him lots of questions too about like how things went in Paris. So yeah, it was pretty cool.
And I think the coolest part that he was talking about was this summer he did the Olympics in Paris. A few months before it, he said he went to the Seine to see what it was like to swim in it. He learned how the current was, so he spent the next several months adjusting his stroke to be most efficient for that type of current, which I thought was something like I'd never even have considered.
Also learned what the triathlon actually consists of in terms of like, I didn't know it was that long.
I would love to do a relay where someone swims, someone bikes, and I do the run part. I think that'd be so fun.
Oh, I'm really bad at swimming. Though like I actually could not do the triathlon because I cannot swim. I can stay above water, I just suck. And like I can't really go faster because I just like, I don't know, I guess I'm just not very buoyant.
Biking scares me. I don't want to fall. I've wiped out on a bike so many times in my life. Like, I just don't want to do that again.
That's 10 minutes, so I think we'll generally do that. Technically, the last
I have a big problem with the relaxation during my races, everything like that. So that was going through my head the whole time was stay relaxed. This race is only important if you get something from it. It's a huge meet. The track is of course renowned for its distance. And I mean, even today, records were set. I had the luxury of staying in a block house, thankfully in the elite section for it. So I actually had blocks on like the other over 20 heats, I think, had no blocks. I set those blocks up, had a really short run out, and then I think there's probably 5 steps in my run out. He said, get it in the blocks, on your marks. I hadn't even turned around yet. And he said, on your marks, get in your blocks. And it was, I mean, the meet director from my friends or people I've heard race here, he's notorious. So my mind before that one, it was run, be fast, set up the blocks, don't mess around, get in those blocks fast, set, popped up, the gun went, and my mind went blank. The only thing that was kind of in the back of my mind was that relaxation. So I came out slower than I definitely normally would, and probably slower than I should have in this race because out of the 4 guys in my heat, I was placed right at the back when we went to the cut-in. And then creeping up to kind of that 300-meter mark, I started feeling a little tense. I was tired, I could feel lactic, but then I was still able to kind of keep that calm, which I was super, super happy about. Up until the 350, maybe the 320, where I kind of lost that relaxation. I kind of reverted back to how I would run that 400 before, where it was super tight and robotic. But in general, the race felt, I was happy with it. At the time, of course, was not what I wanted, but I was happy with the outcome of me being able to feel relaxation and hopefully be able to transfer that to another faster race.
Overall, pretty good. Legs, hips, whole body feels pretty good. Way more relaxed than my average race, most definitely. So it felt a lot better in that way. Wasn't what I wanted for a time, but I'm gonna be relaxed and fast. I need to start relaxed, and I can work out the second half. So it felt good. And of course, milk up, roll bears.
Afterwards, Jim took us to the New Balance store and we did some New Balance shopping, which we can't have enough New Balance. And then we went downtown to like the shopping district. So it was one street of just all different stores.
Yeah, everything's right. Brandy Melville.
There you go.
That store was insane. It was people everywhere.
So packed. Oh my God. Like I was getting claustrophobic. Like running over like girls. Like I'm like, oh my God. Like excuse me, I'm sorry. Like I'm just trying to find a spot. There was no like seating area or like anything. And I was like, we were probably there for like an hour.
I had a pile of shit or of things to carry into the change room, and you could tell like everyone was just like, oh no. I was like, you guys can go to a different store. Like
I got this. Now I'm getting another sweater.
Yeah. So you saw something on your way out? Yeah. Okay.
My mother better not see this.
Anyways, they go to Tracksmith, and then I guess they decided to come back into Brand New Level, and I was still there, and I was like, oh my gosh. But yeah, that was a highlight. I love that store. Yeah, good times.
6, lane 3.
So for the lane selection, you're running lanes 3, 4, 5, 6. Of course, lanes 5, 6, and 4 preferred. 3 is kind of like the last option. I was the slowest in the heat. So that meant that the track officials pulled lane 3, my blocks, off the track. And I was sitting there watching my competitors put their blocks together, do their run out, while I'm sitting there watching the previous race finish. And I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm gonna have to scramble. Will I have a run out? Like, and this is all going on while I'm hearing the announcer, come on guys, let's hurry it up. No wasting time on the track. We need to keep moving with lots of heats. I mean, that's probably the fastest I ever set up blocks. I don't even know if I measured them right. They were close enough for the race. And then I went to kind of settle in and do my, hopefully, 1 block start, and I hadn't even gone into my set position, and he said, stand up, please. I'm like, oh, okay, it's like that. So no run out. I had done, I think, 2 excels maybe. So I felt a little unprepared at that point. On your mark. Fatigue from the 400 definitely, it was present. I was not as fresh as I was before that race, but I was hoping to bring more power into it because it's a 200, it's a full out sprint for the most part. Again, the race wasn't as fast as I wanted, but I was satisfied in the fact that I, one, was actually good for the meet and ran that race, but I was able to finish. I'm healthy. I'm happy I competed here to have this amazing opportunity.
I came to the track, watched a little bit of the races when it was time for warm-up. I'm always stressed, but I'm always confident that I would be able to deliver a good race. I was prepared, I was well prepared, yeah. We were on the line, not too many people in the heat, so the gun went off. The first 200 was pretty good. I was third the whole race, so that was the Dartmouth guy, Harvard and me. After 400, the split was okay, a little bit slow, but then I came at this 600-meter split, and I said, okay, this is too slow. I gotta I think the Harvard guy thought the same thing, because the last 300 went pretty fast. Last 200, I mean, the Harvard guy, he looked good. I saw the possibility. I said, no way, I'm not getting this guy, and I did, and used a little celly, you know. My friend dared me to do it, so I think it was pretty funny.
My expectation, I wanted the national U20 record. I got the provincial record. I was off the U20 national record by 0.4 seconds. A little bit disappointed. The second lap, we started slowing down. Third lap was completely too slow. I had a very strong last lap. I did what I could. It's only January, so I might come back here in 2 weeks, try to break it. But awesome experience. The track is so fast. It's my second time here. I'm gonna go cool down, and I'm happy overall. I think it's a good experience. And, yeah.
As we were leaving the restaurant, everyone was pretty tired.
In comes Gabby Thomas. I was like, I'm looking at Quinn, and I'm at Quinn, and he's like, you can go get a photo with her if you want. And I was like, and I rushed over there. I was like, Gabby? And she's and she smiled at me. She saw me coming over too. And I was like, can I get a photo with you? And she's like, yeah, of course. She was so sweet.
We go into the Uber, and she's losing her mind.
Did you say that? Yes!
When we came back, I thought for sure that I was gonna have the best story to tell, like how like we met Gabby Thomas, and then it turns out that the guys actually had a better story.
We were like making a turn, and then I noticed on like I'm sitting in the left side of the car, the truck on our left was getting really close to us. And the truck starts laying down the horn, but that left lane that he was in was a turning lane. He was supposed to be going like left only. Like we were in the only like lane going straight. Yeah. And so we get like past the light, and the truck speeds past us into the lane like right in front of us, and he's like flipping us off out the window. And
did your Uber driver do anything wrong at any point?
no. Our Uber driver starts talking about, yeah, guys, like 30 years ago, I would have chased that guy down. Like I would have like messed him up.
I took anger management classes. I'm good now.
Yeah. We pulled up beside him, and the guy put his window down, and he put down Kosuke's window, and he's yelling across Kosuke because the guy yelled like, can you not see the line? And he said, you're in the turning lane, you dumbass! Like he yells back at him.
They just kept yelling at each other for a bit, and then
the driver yelled, pull over up there.
And then he started getting like out of the car, and then he's like, oh, like our driver's like, oh shit. He starts like driving, like moving around, and
yeah. And then he starts chasing us, and then there's a red light, and our driver just and there's another red light, and he just goes, and the truck is still like close. So he says, Kosuke had asked him if he's from New York, so he said, all right, you guys are gonna see some New York driving now. He takes us like, I don't know, just a few sharp turns, and he's not behind us anymore, and he said like, there's 5 of us, like what would he have done? Like, I have a baseball bat in the back anyways.
We better not hear any knocking at our door today.
I had asked him earlier, I said, we're from Canada, and I feel like I've been hearing the same jokes for years. You gotta give me some like American, like give me something to talk about when I get home. And so we're getting out of the car, and he's like, did I give you a good enough story to bring back to Canada? I'm like, yes. This is perfect. I wasn't that scared until I looked at Robin, and Robin looked like he was gonna poop his pants.
Wait, not his pants, his tights.
He kept on like looking back, and he's like, you better go, you better go.
Like I said, you better go now. He's coming.
They're like,
I was like, there's no one we stand at red light anymore.
Did we tip him well?
Oh, I paid him an extra $8 US. You can I can pay for that, honestly. Worth it.
That's fantastic. My heart was beating.